Hi, I'm Vicki Hyman. We're here at NJ Advanced Media with our Game of Thrones roundtable, which is getting smaller by the week, just like the show. Please introduce yourself, guys.
My name is Carla Stadilla.
I'm John Shabe.
And we are going to be talking about last night's episode. We're going to start with probably the most upsetting thing that has happened, in my opinion, on Game of Thrones so far this season, which is that Barristan Selmy may be dead. He can't be dead, right? They can't kill him off. Please tell me.
Can we have a moment of silence for Sir
No,
Barristan?
no, because that means he
Pour
might be dead.
pour one out for...
Yeah.
I know, and that also means that Grey Worm might be dead. Now, I would be really, really upset if they killed him off. I still think that he could still be alive. Do you think he's dead?
I think he's dead, and I think, they've shown that they're not afraid to kill off big characters, and I think maybe they've done it again.
I think he's dead too. Sorry.
How about Grey Worm?
Grey Worm, I think he might still be... I don't know, he kind of looked like he had a little bit of life in him. Like
He got stabbed in the back.
Yeah,
pulled out the knife.
Yeah, people have survived from that, you know.
He was a little tired from having fought off, 30 Sons of the Harpy?
Breaking off, this dude's, neck with his elbow or whatever. The whole fight was amazing.
Unsullied seem all of a sudden very human all of a sudden, right? I mean, the Harpies pretty much went to town on those guys.
They really did. It was a complete ambush, I think. I mean, they drew him into that sort of narrow chamber. I'm glad that there was some action going on in Marine, but is this actually moving the plot forward? What's going to happen next?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure where she stands now. I don't know how she can regain order at this point. I think she's in a really tough spot.
Mm-hmm. She might have to make a necessary alliance, maybe?
Or a dragon run.
A dragon run. A dragon run. Going from the most exciting subplot to the most boring subplot, Castle Black. Jon Snow, yet again, somebody comes up to Jon Snow and said, hey, will you help us take back Winterfell? And he says, no, I can't because I have my vow to the Night's Watch. I cannot help you. I cannot take, vengeance upon my family. It was the 4th or 5th time this has happened so far this season. It's getting really old. Of course, some men may think that this particular way of asking Jon Snow, with Melisandre's breasts, is the right way to do it, but...
Has he never seen breasts before? I mean, the guy, was like a big pile of yogurt standing there looking... I mean, it was like, come on, dude, tighten it up a little bit.
I don't know. I'm like, something's got to happen at Castle Black, because this is getting extremely old.
Yeah.
The one thing that concerned me that's going on at Castle Black is there's been a lot of talk about grayscale, which, as we all know, is this disease that turns your skin to basically stone-like material, and you eventually die from it. Shireen had it as a baby. She was cured of it. They've talked about it on numerous occasions. They talked about it actually last week when the woman in Volantis was preaching about the Lord of the Light. She mentioned the Stone Men, which are men in the late stages of grayscale. So is there going to be a grayscale epidemic?
Or I don't know. The thing about it, whenever they try to make characters sympathetic, and I'm talking about the scene with Shireen going up to Stannis and asking that, I just feel like Shireen might not be long for that world, and there's something grayscaly might happen, and and Stannis might have to do something bad, because I mean Stannis is kind of one of the most boring characters in Game of Thrones, and when they try to make him sympathetic, that's not going well.
I've always found Stannis sympathetic, as I said, I think last week. I don't know why. There's something about him. I actually like the dude, and I thought it was a very sweet moment that he had with his daughter.
Well, yeah, his awkward kind of hug, it's I don't know what you're doing to me, child, but
what is this?
What is this feeling love I'm having?
Let's go to King's Landing, which is probably what is going to be one of the most interesting plots going forward. It's really going to propel. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on. Having read the books, we have Cersei in an alliance with the High Sparrow, told him about a certain person in King's Landing who is, she basically said he's a pervert, arrest him, and it turned out to be Loras Tyrell, Marjorie Tyrell's brother, beloved brother.
I know.
Who gets arrested by Lancel Lannister, and I keep on confusing Lancel and Loras. Okay, Lancel's the guy now with the thing at his forehead.
Yeah.
And so he gets arrested, He gets taken to the dungeons. Marjorie is like, Tommen, help me, help me. And Tommen goes to his mother. His mother's like, dude, it wasn't me. Why don't you go talk to the High Sparrow? Which I thought was very interesting because she knew what was going to happen. And she does love her kids. So it was surprising to me that she would do that.
Well, didn't you want to see a little Joffrey and Tommen? I mean, Tommen made Joffrey look like a great, strong ruler. Tommen's like, you're like, come on, Tommen, bring it in here. He could have done it any number of ways. He could have just dispatched the army alone and taken care of it. He did it exactly the wrong way.
The King's Guard could have totally taken the fake militant. So.
100%.
Although it does show like a little tiny bit of a possibility for Tommen that he was unwilling to shed blood, which you kind of have to do in this universe. But he was showing some mercy. But of course, mercy never ends well for anybody in Game of Thrones.
I'm starting a Tommen death watch.
You think?
Yeah, I don't think he's long for this, but he's way too powerful and way over his head.
The thing that bothered me, though, is that Cersei was very protective over her son, very protective over his rule, even though she was really ruling for him. She's very protective of Myrcella, and I just don't understand, like, she seems to be throwing Tommen to the wolves.
She also seems to be drinking heavily. Like, every time she does anything now, she's got a full goblet.
I never noticed that until Marjorie pointed it out last week.
That's her character trait.
I never noticed it.
It's her sneering over wine. Like,
she never really seemed drunk, though.
No, but
she's not. She's functionally alcoholic.
Functional alcoholic.
Yeah, you have to be to do the things she does.
Would you like to see a Harpies versus Sparrows, street brawl from West Side Story? Maybe that would be kind of cool.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, that would be cool. I don't know who I might. I was gonna say I'd take the Harpies, but I think the Sparrows maybe they have the force of God behind them.
They both have a righteousness. Well, I mean, the Unsullied, maybe they don't have as much righteousness behind them anymore. Maybe they never had any righteousness. They were just trained and they need some righteousness.
Yeah.
Daenerys needs to, step up her righteousness.
Well, one thing that I will say about what are they called? The sparrows. Yeah, the sparrows. Is that I think Cersei is she's entering into this alliance and she kind of thinks like, oh, I'm totally in control. But what she doesn't really get is that these are religious fundamentalists, like they're not like this isn't a corrupt politician where I can scratch your back, you can scratch mine, like any time that she, they think she might step out of line, they're going to come after her.
Exactly.
So
you haven't read the books, have you?
No, I just guessed,
That's all I'm going to say.
So yeah, I think Cersei might be like, this isn't going to work out too well for her.
She has had her I don't know, perversions, you might call it. She's also kind of an abomination. Oh, I thought it was interesting that apparently the secret is out about Tommen with all the people yelling at Tommen. Abomination, perversion, all that kind of stuff. So it's like everybody knows now that, Cersei and Jaime have children.
Right, and that couldn't have felt good for him, and I wonder if that had something to do with his decision, too. I mean, and is he...
it definitely threw him off his game.
Is he going to learn now, like, maybe I ought to, sit back in the castle and rule from there for a while?
We're going to go to Winterfell now. Not so interesting, really. Not a whole lot happened, but a Littlefinger did find Sansa down in the lighting a candle for her aunt Lyanna, and talking to her. He's saying, I have to go back to Winterfell and talk to Cersei. But basically, this is my plan. Either Jon is going to come down and they're going to capture Winterfell, all the lords are going to rule behind you, and you will be Wardeness of the North, or maybe you have to marry Ramsay Bolton and make him and twist him around your little finger. So either way, you're going to win, girl.
Yeah, I guess.
And then he kissed her.
Yeah, did you notice she didn't give him the open mouth kiss?
Was he going for an open mouth kiss?
I think he would have liked one.
Okay.
That's my guess.
I think it was enough.
She stood strong.
Yeah. She didn't flinch either, though.
No, she did not.
Yeah. I think she's just used to it. It's like, this guy just creepily kisses me all the time,
Right. I mean, like, if she knew what Ramsay Bolton really was, I think Littlefinger's definitely the least of the evils there.
Yeah.
But she doesn't know that yet.
Yes.
So I thought at least that was interesting. Now, I'm just going to wrap it up with one more interesting point. There were two different images of Rhaegar Targaryen that were presented last night. So we have the one where Littlefinger is basically telling Sansa again, or one of them was telling the other, about how Sansa was saying, he raped raped Lyanna. started this whole war, what a terrible guy, and then Barristan Selmy was telling Daenerys, oh, we used to go down to King's Landing, we used to sing for everybody, used to give away the money, and it's like, are we ever going to find out, like, what kind of a guy Rhaegar Targaryen was, and are we going to find out, as we've discussed previously, maybe Rhaegar Targaryen could have been Jon Snow's father? Who knows?
Yeah, the whole episode just kind of put more credence into that theory. I was so happy, like, because you know how I feel about that theory. I feel very strongly about that. So when I saw that, I'm like, oh, show, I get you.
I see what you're doing.
I see what you're doing.
All right. I think that's about all we have time for today, except for a little bit of Brienne and Jaime. Jaime looking off at Tarth and looking like, with some longing, which I liked, although God knows when those two are ever going to get together again, because Brienne is all the way in the north, Jaime's all the way in the south.
Hey, he did say, like, when I die, I want to die in the arms of the woman I love.
Didn't say which woman.
I know, he didn't. And in my heart, I'm like, please let it be Brienne. So
that would be, well, I guess it could happen. I mean, we have 2 more seasons left.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Well, we will be back next week with more Game of Thrones. Please join us. Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Thank you.